Alright, what's going on, everybody? This is Chase fan number 9 here, and I'm coming at you with another video. In this one, I'm going to be taking a look at the throwback schemes from Darlington over a week ago. Sorry that I'm late on this one. I've just been held up with other commitments and other videos, so that explains the reason why I'm late on this one. But hey, better late than never, if you know what I'm saying. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. The throwback paint schemes I saw from Darlington over a week ago, or should I say almost 2 weeks ago, there were some pretty good ones, not going to lie. And I thought to myself, instead of doing separate videos for Cup, Xfinity, and trucks, I might as well do all of them at once in one entire video. So let's do that, shall we? So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? So here we go. So first up, we got Quinn Half in the number 00 RCA Chevrolet Camaro. This is a throwback to the late John Andretti. It's a scheme that John ran in the late 90s, and I have to admit, I've actually seen pictures of the scheme and I can see the resemblance. You got RCA along the side, you got two dogs here. Everything looks accurate. Aside from the contingency sponsors, it's got just a simple red and white scheme with half of the car being red and white here along the side and a white car number and all that. So looks pretty good. You also got Boss Klein and the hashtag check it for Andretti here on the bottom, and it's on the car too here along the back panel. So yeah, overall decent throwback. I like it. Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Matt DiBenedetto were some of the ones that didn't do throwbacks this year for Cup. But anyhow, here's Austin Dillon's Darlington throwback. It's to honor the late Fireball Roberts. This was a paint scheme that he ran in the 50s or the 60s, either one. But anyhow, I can see the resemblance. Number fonts definitely match. Looks better than the ones that Dillon has ran in the past, not gonna lie. You got the gold on the front with the black here. It kind of reminds me of the 50th anniversary schemes that the 3 and the 8 car ran back in 2019. Those were sharp. Even though they were just plain gold with the red numbers, they are still pretty sharp, not gonna lie. And you got the classic Bass Pro Shop logo. I'm liking it. And you got a black stripe going down the middle here. It's a small one, but it's visible nonetheless. And you got Bass Tracker here along the side. So overall, I like it. It's a pretty simple scheme. Now, within the few days leading up to Darlington, this was one that I was definitely not expecting. It is a throwback to Kevin Harvick's rookie season in 2001 for Cup. And I have to admit, even though they're different numbers, the number fonts definitely match. It's an all-white Mobil 1 scheme, which I definitely like. Throwback to the good wrench car, because this was after Dale Sr. passed away, and you can see how Harvick's changed over the years from then till now. There's definitely a big difference there. I like how there's a big old throwback trading card here with a picture of Harvick's car on the front. That looks really cool. It'd be cool if they had good wrench on the car to make the scheme more accurate, but overall, this is fine with me, not gonna lie. Next up, we got Kyle Larson's number 500cars.com scheme. It's a throwback to his first go-kart, which he got from his neighbors, and it's got a simple red and white scheme with red roof, white here along the top and along the bottom. You got red here along the side, so that looks pretty nice. Yeah. Also got the blue car number. The letter font looks pretty cool. This is yet again another simple scheme. Nothing too, not nothing, nothing really too special. I mean, it would have been cool if Kyle Larson won at Darlington, but oh well. The second place is a second place. Not gonna lie about it, but it is what it is. Next up, we got Tyler Reddick in the number 8 Quartz Hill Records Chevrolet Camaro. It is a throwback to Marty Robbins. Okay. This is the first time in a few years that we've seen someone run a Marty Robbins throwback. Last one was Kyle Larson back in 2016, I think. It was similar to this, but I think the colors were different. Or no, I think they were about just as accurate as this one. You got the yellow here along the top, while most of the car is purple, and you got purple here from the hood to the roof to the back with a simple number 8. Looks pretty nice. Number font's pretty sharp too, and overall decent scheme. Everything definitely matches. I know it's a black and white scheme, but still it's a cool paint scheme nonetheless. Next up, we got Ryan Newman's number 6 Kohler Generators Ford Mustang. It's a throwback to Kohler Generators 1976 SCCA National Championship throwback. Okay, not sure what to say about this one, but I have to admit it looks pretty cool. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Bushers didn't do a throwback either. Anyhow, it's got like a dark blue here along from the front to the back and along the side, and a light blue separated by the yellow here. Overall, pretty cool. To be honest with you, I haven't seen the picture of the scheme, but hey, I mean it's a pretty cool one. Here's the first of a few Alan Kowicki throwbacks. It's Corey LaJoie's number 7 Xerox Chevrolet Camaro. I have to admit, everything when I saw the pictures of LaJoie's car and Kowicki's car side by side, everything was accurate. The colors, the number font, the scheme altogether, everything definitely matched together to make for one cool throwback, that's for sure. Now here's my favorite. It's Alan Kowicki throwback number 2. It's Chase Elliott's number 9 Hooters Chevrolet Camaro. I have to admit, this one is pretty accurate too. When I saw the picture side by side with Kowicki's car and Elliott's car, everything matches with this one just like the Xerox car. The number font, the colors, the classic white and orange, the logos and all that, everything looks cool. So this has to be one of my favorite throwbacks from Throwback Weekend this year. So yeah, I know some people like this one and some were a little bit biased, but I have to admit, it looks pretty nice. Eric Almirola ran a Mark Martin throwback number 10 Smithfield Winn-Dixie Ford Mustang. This is a throwback to the Winn-Dixie scheme that Mark Martin ran back in 2000. Alright, I think it was during the Busch series, I think. Yep, it was the Busch series. I have to admit, the red, yellow, this is one crazy scheme. The flames and all that makes it look pretty cool. I love it. I mean, the back of the car looks pretty fine, but overall, the whole scheme with the fire, very crazy scheme. I have to admit it. Winning and grilling. Okay then, that's something new. Next up, Denny Hamlin. He drove the number 11 Sports Clips Toyota Camry. It was a throwback to Julius Slick Johnson, who was a South Carolina native that competed in the Cup Series during the 80s. Okay, it looks like just like it looks just like any other Denny Hamlin throwback. Red, red on the front and back, white in the middle, and on the top, red car number. Yeah, pretty bland scheme, but nothing against it. Here's Ryan Blaney's throwback. It's to promote Advanced Auto Parts Advance My Track Challenge, and it's basically a throwback to his 2010 PASS series late model car. Okay, decent scheme, black, red, white. Overall, pretty decent, pretty cool. He could have done. I don't know what other throwback he could have ran. He could have ran any other throwback that could have came to my mind, but this one's okay. Overall, decent scheme. Next up, we got Chase Briscoe in the number 14 High Point Ford Mustang. He's throwing back to AJ Foyt's 1986 paint scheme. Okay, I see the accuracy, the number font, the red matches, even the bottom part matches as well. So everything goes well together. Even the helmet throwback looks pretty cool too, not gonna lie. And you got Stuart Haas Racing can here with Smoke's name here along the side. So overall, it looks pretty cool. Next up, we got James Davison in the number 15 Smart Sanitizer Chevrolet Camaro. This is a throwback to Dick Johnson's scheme from 1989 to 1990. It looks like a JD Motorsports scheme, if I'm being honest. It's got everything, the red, the white, and all that. The number font looks different. I definitely like that. Overall, it's just another just bland scheme with just a bunch of words and letters and all that. It looks like something that Colby Howard would have ran, but Colby Howard ran otherwise. Anyhow, I don't know what to say about this. I mean, I get they're celebrating Eminem's 80th anniversary, but come on, Kyle, she could have ran better. Could have at least ran a Bobby Labonte throwback, because I know lots of people have been itching for that for a couple years. And also, when are you ever gonna run an Elliott Sadler throwback? I mean, we definitely want that, because that's something we've been looking forward to for a while. Hope he runs one next year. Well, here's our race winner from that Sunday. It's Martin Truex Jr. in the number 19 Auto Owners Insurance Scheme. Now, for those that don't know what this is, it's basically a throwback to Furniture Row Racing. And to be honest with you, I actually missed the team based from Colorado. Won a championship, won a handful of races with him, with Truex, and had the fold after 2018, unfortunately. It's a decent throwback to them. It's basically the auto owner scheme, but it's all black. You got blue here along the front, the auto owner scheme on the hood, and the number 19 on the side with the blue. Overall, just another bland scheme. Joey Logano's Darlington throwback was for Mario Andretti's first F1 victory, which was 50 years ago. Ooh, didn't acknowledge that. But anyways, not sure how I feel about this one, but let's see. Well, I have to admit, at least they let the white bits here outline the number stick out a little bit. That's pretty cool. The words are like highlighted in a white rectangle. You got white here on the back. You got white here along the front. And notice all the lettering, aside from the white lettering, everything else is painted black. If only it had color, it would pop out more. But it is what it is. I like the gold wheels, don't get me wrong, but still. Anyhow, moving on. Bubba Wallace running a Wendell Scott throwback in this number 23 route insurance scheme. Okay, definitely like this. Love the blue scheme, very simple. You got the Wendell Scott, you got his picture here along the side and all that. In orange outline the number. I actually saw the side-by-side picture with this one Wendell scheme, and I definitely saw the comparisons there, that's for sure. Now this is a true Neil Bonnet throwback on William Byron's Valvoline scheme. Not to mention Byron, Larson, Valvoline, they all signed a sponsor extension, and Darlington just happened to be the first race from Byron. Now I have to admit, everything is accurate with this one. The number, even though it's a different number, the number font's accurate, and the whole paint scheme as a whole, all accurate as well. You gotta like it. To be honest with you, I liked the Jimmy Johnson throwbacks from last year. Those were pretty cool. Next up, we got Michael McDowell, the number 34 Freight Auctions Ford Mustang. This is a throwback to Bill Elliott's 1985 Daytona 500 winning course car. Okay, I see the accuracy. It's got the traditional red, silver, red, gold, and white colors. Okay, I love the letter font looks pretty nice. Number font looks pretty sharp, and the gold rims too. They definitely match up well with this one. That's for sure. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna be for real with y'all on this. I had no idea that Trent Owens was a NASCAR driver, but after seeing this one for the first time, now I know. This is Ryan Preece's number 37 Velveeta Chevrolet, which is a throwback to Trent Owens' 2002 scheme. It's basically the same thing, but the only difference is the flame design here is replaced by like cheese splatter along the car. So yeah, that's all I see. But everything else looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. So yeah, pretty simple scheme. Anthony Alfredo drove a yeah, this is the third Alan Kulwicki scheme. This is a throwback to his 1985 Hardee's car. Everything looks accurate too. The letters, number font, you got Freight Auctions too. It's very simple white, orange scheme. I mean, I like the Hardy scheme, but I don't think I've grown as much on this scheme, or maybe it's just me as far as seeing this as a throwback is concerned. But I love the silver wheels though, don't get me wrong. But overall, cool scheme, I like it. I have to admit, Cole Custer's Darlington throwback looked pretty cool. It's a throwback to Margaret Haas, who is the mother of team owner Gene Haas. Okay. It's basically the Haas tooling scheme, but with a bunch of roses and flowers on it. And it says, oi, almost hit the wrong button. And it says Happy Mother's Day on the hood of the car. So yeah, that's the only thing that's different about this scheme from Cole Custer's primary scheme. Boy, that was a pretty cool paint scheme. Same with Almirola's. Too bad they crashed out during the race, unfortunately, but I'm glad they gave it a run for its money. Okay, now this is a cool side-by-side comparison here. This is, oops, got a notification. This is a Ross Chastain's Darlington throwback to Hut Strickland's 1993 McDonald's scheme. Okay, the two definitely look accurate. The McDonald's, it'd been more accurate if they had the white line here around the M here on Chastain's card than as it was on Hut Strickland's card. But overall, decent scheme, and I'm glad they didn't put too many associate sponsors on here, unlike Hut Strickland's scheme. But overall, definitely looks pretty cool. McDonald's schemes never disappoint. At least it wasn't cursed this time around. So yeah. Now here's a throwback, a true John Andretti throwback. This is Eric Jones' throwback to his John Andretti's 1999 Martinsville race-winning car. It's got the typical STP scheme, the classic petty blue, and all that. Everything's accurate on this one. And to think that he won the Pro Invitational race in this scheme too, that was a good tribute to John Andretti as well. So, gotta like that. Okay, so this is basically Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s throwback to Ricky Craven's Tide scheme. Now, I understand why a lot of people don't like this scheme, and I see their point. They could have, what they should have done is basically done the whole car like this. Just done like what the picture did, and then it would look accurate. Or just change up some of the colors here and just do the regular Kroger and then do the Tide here on the back, kind of accurate to what is shown here in the picture. So yeah, they could have done a better job with the scheme. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. So yeah. Next up, we got Alex Bowman's number 48 Ally throwback. It's a throwback to his crew chief, Greg Ives, who was a late model driver, and I have to admit, a blue car with pink numbers, that's something you don't see very often. Pretty simple, not gonna lie. I gotta admit, the number font, I always love the number font changes, never disappoint. Here's Cody Ware's number 51 Nurtec throwback to Darrell Waltrip's 1990 Superflow Chevy. Okay. The only difference is that the colors here featured on 51 are not accurate to what's on here, but it is what it is. You got the green here on the bottom, it blends in the blue, and then you got the black on top, and the yellow wraps around the bottom, and the blue comes around the back as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. So yeah. Okay, now this one I definitely like. It's Josh Bilicki's number 52 Insurance King throwback to Lenny Pond's Burger King scheme. Now I have to admit, the King here on Burger King, the letter font is very accurate to the King in Insurance King here on the hood, so I definitely like that. And the sponsor here on the core panel definitely matches what's here on the side, that's for sure. Same with this bit and this, that's pretty cool. Number font too, same thing. And right here is supposed to be Lenny Pond's name. Well, his name here is along the side here, so I definitely like that. That looks pretty cool. Now here's another one I like. It's Justin Haley's number 77 FOE Chevrolet Camaro throwback to Robert Presley. Okay. Number font, I definitely like it as always. The blue, yellow, red definitely looks accurate to me, so definitely like that. And I see a bunch of names here. I assume these are partners of Fraternal Order of Eagles, if that's the case, unless they're the names of mothers or something of the drivers. I could be wrong, but I like how it says Happy Mother's Day on the hood. I definitely love that for sure. Next up, it's Live Fast Motorsports. They ran a Darlington throwback on their number 78 machine to Joe Weatherly's last win at Darlington 1963. Okay, everything looks accurate. Black on the top, the red on the bottom, number font and everything looks pretty cool. Even the numbers and letters here on the hood look pretty cool too, so I definitely have to give credit to them for acknowledging that. And last but not least, Daniel Suarez running a simple Camping World throwback on his 99 cart to celebrate their 55th anniversary. So this is a throwback to what Camping World looked like back in the day, and I have to admit, the letter font and the number font and all that looks pretty sharp. I love the blue with the yellow, green, and red. Makes the car pop out more. Definitely love it. Anyways, that's gonna do it for Cup. Let's move on to Xfinity, shall we? So, oh, there's Kurt and Ross. Hello. But anyways, first up we got Jeffrey Earnhardt's number 0 Forever Lawn Darlington throwback, which is throwing back to Dale Earnhardt's 1996 Olympics paint scheme. Okay, definitely looks patriotic here. With everything looks accurate with the silver number and the American flag basically consuming the entire car. Okay, looks pretty nice. And I'll leave it at that. Next up, we got Michael Nett in the number 1 Gatorade Chevrolet Camaro. This is a throwback to Darrell Waltrip's 1979 Gatorade paint scheme. And I have to say, Michael Nett's throwback paint schemes over the last couple of years have not disappointed. I'm going to tell you that right now. Last year, Michael Nett ran a pretty cool throwback to Dale Jr. with the Oreo scheme. But this is definitely up there with all of them. The Gatorade logo is accurate. The number font is 2. Well, if it was the 88, it would have been more accurate. But with the number 1, still look pretty cool. The green patches here along the side. Well, everything definitely matches up with this. Not gonna lie. Mike Snyder drove the number 2 Tax Slayer scheme. It's supposedly to honor his family legacy. I'm not sure how I feel about this. All they just did was change up the number font. It looks pretty cool, but that's all they did, so not sure what to say there, but anyhow. Now this is the Mark Martin throwback we deserve, and Ryan Vargas definitely proved it. It's the number 6 Monarch Roofing Chevrolet Camaro. There's lots of Mark Martin stuff about this scheme. The white, the blue, the red, the number font, they all match up to Mark Martin's iconic Valvoline scheme. And I do have Mark Martin's Darlington win car from 1993, if I remember correctly. And the paint scheme on that one definitely matches up with this, so I definitely love it here. Now, Joe Graff's 07 Bucked Up Energy Chevrolet Camaro is basically a Back to the Future scheme, similar to what the DeLorean was. And I got to say, the letter font similar to the... Hold on, I'm about to see. Anyways, false alarm. The lettering from Back to the Future is definitely accurate to what's shown here on the hood with Bucked Up Energy. So overall, I love it. Even you got the bits of the DeLorean here on the side with the wires and all that to match up to the car. I have to admit, it looks pretty cool. Now, our race winner, Justin Allgaier, definitely ran a pretty cool throwback. It's a throwback to Dale Earnhardt's Tasmanian Devil scheme from the 2000 Daytona 500. And it's got Good Humor ice cream on it. It looks pretty cool. You got the Good Humor man here on the hood. And you got him here along the side. Number font is pretty sharp. And wow, everything about this car is so Dale Earnhardt accurate. I love it. This would be a car worth getting. especially since the fact that it's a race win car. So overall, I definitely like this one. I love it. I really do. Pretty simple. Man, if only it said Good Ranch, then it would be more accurate. And if it had been the Tasmanian Devil on the car instead of the Good Humor Ice Cream Man, it would have been more accurate. Now, this one is my personal favorite throwback paint scheme from that Saturday. It's Josh Berry's number 8 Tire Pro Chevrolet Camaro, which is a throwback to Dale Earnhardt's win in the Pepsi 400 20 years ago. Obviously, they don't want to use the accurate number font that Dale Jr. had. And one of the reasons why they couldn't do that is because of stupid Teresa Earnhardt, as always, unfortunately. But anyhow, it's a cool paint scheme nonetheless. And I actually don't mind the number font, if I'm being honest with you. And you got Dale Earnhardt and Michael Waltrip celebrating together like they did 20 years ago, so that looks pretty nice. And Dale Jr.'s throwback that night was a paint scheme for the All-Star game. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. So that's why it has the baseball things here along the side. So yeah, overall pretty cool paint scheme. Jeb Burton throwing back to his father Ward. It's a throwback to his MBNA America scheme from the mid 90s. Okay, the only thing I have to say is that it's just the green looks more lighter than what's shown here, but I think they could have done better to make the green more accurate. Number font's still the same, don't get me wrong. But the rest of the car looks pretty cool though, not gonna lie. Now this is basically a throwback to Leaf Filter's first ever paint scheme as a NASCAR sponsor. It was Homestead, or I think it was Charlotte 2014 with Blake Cook, I think. And if I'm going to be honest with you, I mean, I do like the accuracy of this and this, but it looks like any other leaf filter scheme, if I'm going to be honest with you. But I don't hate it though, if I'm being honest. I tell you, these small teams definitely know how to do good throwbacks, especially if you're Matt Jaskell and MBM Motorsports. This is a throwback to Mike Skinner's 1991 paint scheme when he was sponsored by Glidden. And I gotta tell you, this car looks like a freaking rainbow, especially here along the side and on the hood. Number font's pretty sharp too. Man, this paint scheme is up there. This was one of my favorite schemes too, next to Josh Berry's. And red and blue tires, that's something you don't see very often. I'm surprised NASCAR didn't say anything about this. So, yeah, I definitely like Matt Jaskell's scheme, not gonna lie. Now, Colby Howard here definitely knows how to do a throwback, especially for his father, Rodney Howard. I have to admit, number font and all that, the red and white and blue, they all look pretty accurate. I tell you, the JD Motorsports cars definitely knew how to do throwbacks this year. The only difference between this one and this one is that this one has Project Hope Foundation on it. I know it's a sponsor, but still. But I like it though. Now here's another throwback I like. AJ Allmendinger is basically throwing back to himself, and what more can you say? It's a throwback to his lone Cup Series win at Watkins Glen back in 2014. Man, I can't believe it's been 7 years. Everything, all the sponsors are in the right place. Well, some of the patches for the sponsors are accurate. Look, they even put Ellsworth in where Kingsford should be. And for Collie down here, they put it where Bush Beans should be at. And where Scott's Products is supposed to be at, they put Hyperice Products instead. And the number font looks pretty cool too. Man, I tell you, they AJ Allmendinger and Colleague Racing definitely hit the ball out of the park with this paint scheme, that's for sure. Okay, now this one, a Matt Kenseth throwback. This is something I definitely didn't see coming. It's JJ Yaley throwing back to Matt Kenseth's Valvoline Next Gen scheme, and it's from 2012. Basically the year when Matt Kenseth had a helmet chucked at him from good old Tony Stewart. And I have to admit, those Valvoline Next Gen schemes were pretty sharp. The green, the white, everything was accurate about this. Not gonna lie. Now, I have to admit, Daniel Suarez definitely ran this scheme in the Pro Invitational race. And then for the Xfinity race, Daniel Hemrick decided to run the Red Farmer throwback too. Everything accurate. Even though the number font may be the same as it's always been, but the gold here wrapping around the entire front of the car and along the sides, and on the top here, everything looks pretty cool. Love the red. It would have been cool if they went with the gold rims, but this will do, I guess. So yeah. Now this is the Todd Bodine throwback we definitely deserve, especially if you're a driver like Brandon Jones. It'd been cool if Danny Bone drove this paint scheme instead of the Michael Waltrip throwback, but this is fine with me. This is a throwback to Todd Bodine's championship winning truck from 2006. Back then he was sponsored by Lumber Liquidators. Now that battery bit has Toyota in it, but everything, the battery on the hood and the design overall, pretty accurate to what's shown on the left. So yeah, kind of reminds me of the Stanley Tool scheme or the DeWalt scheme. So yeah, Harrison Burton running a throwback to his father Jeff Burton. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I liked Harrison Burton's throwback last year more than this one, if I'm gonna be honest with you. This one just looks like the sports clip scheme but with Dex imaging. But I have to admit the letter font looks pretty cool. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this. Or that, I should say. Brandon Godovic drove a number 26 Kyle Petty throwback. It's a throwback to his Hot Wheels scheme, and everything looks accurate with this one than like with Kyle Petty's scheme. You got the Hot Wheel track going in a loop, and Snapmobile and the number font. They're all similar to what the Hot Wheels car would look like. So overall, Sam Hunt Racing definitely hit the ball out of the park with this one, especially with the red wheels. Man, it looks nice. Alex LeBay throwing back to Kenny Wallace's Red Dog paint scheme from 1994 to 1996. Okay, looks pretty nice. The only thing that was different from this and this is that you got Kenny Wallace here on the hood instead of the Red Dog itself. And it says Herminator. Okay, that's something new. Number font looks pretty nice. You got LaRue. That's a familiar sponsor I've seen. Everything else looks good. The red, the black here on the front. Also the black here on the side and around the back looks pretty nice. Look, even the number font looks pretty cool too. So yeah. Next up, Tommy Joe Martin's driving the number 44 Capital City Hauling Camaro. It's a throwback to Rich Bickle's scheme. Now, I have to admit, this is actually one underrated paint scheme that me and a lot of other people seem to sort of like. Number font, colors, location of the designs and patch it, everything about it. Pretty simple. It'd been cool if he ran white rims on this car, or purple or something to go with it. You got the yellow here on the bottom. Overall looks pretty cool nonetheless. Now here's another Petty throwback, and it's Kyle Weatherman's number 47 Richard Petty inspired throwback. It's just another classic Petty scheme, but he's got Kyle Weatherman's got his typical sponsors on it, and the number font's accurate too, so I have to give them credit for that, and that's pretty much all I have to say. I heard this paint scheme won Throwback of the Year over a week ago, so yeah, they definitely did a good job on that one. Now, Jade Buford is running another Hot Wheels throwback, but this time it's to Dan Gurney. And I like how Jade Buford's got his name on the top and Dan Gurney's name along the bottom below the driver's side window. Number font looks accurate. You got Hot Wheels along the side here, looks pretty nice. Even the thing here on the hood looks pretty cool too. Got Big Machines too, and the red, orange, and yellow here on the front. Looks pretty nice. And the white rim tires looks nice as well. Now this is here's the first of two Dale Jarrett throwbacks. First up, it's Jeremy Clements. Even though he's not the number 88, I have to admit the logo looks pretty accurate, and it's got ASC on it for All South Electric, obviously. But the colors, the brown logo, man, this blows all of Jeremy Clements' paint schemes in the past out of the water. I forgot what year this was. I think it was around 2006, around like I believe Dale Jarrett ran the scheme around the mid 2000s or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, but overall it's a decent scheme nonetheless. I like it. So yeah, everything about this is Dale Jarrett accurate. Ty Gibbs, this basically, I mean, I do like the interstate battery scheme, but this just looks like the ones I've seen in the past already. I'm like, can we just do a Bobby Labonte throwback for once? Or something more accurate? Because it would be a lot better. Anyhow, David Starr's Whataburger scheme looks just looks like his usual scheme, except the throwback to modified driver Richie Evans, he just changed up the number font, and that's pretty much it. But the font number looks pretty cool. Timmy Hill ran a pretty cool throwback scheme to Rusty Wallace's Duraflame car. Some people thought it was a Stephen Wallace throwback, but it looks cool nonetheless. Everything looks accurate. The flames, the number font, the all black car on most of it. Even the red number on top looks pretty cool too, and they definitely match together, that's for sure. They could have done yellow rims, but this is alright. Now here's another good Dale Jarrett throwback. It's Brandon Brown's throwback to his 2002 scheme, and what I like about this is the 8 and 68 looks accurate to what Dale Jarrett had, so I got to give BMS some credit. I'd give this a 10 out of 10, that's for sure. And everything else looks accurate as well. I love how he's holding a packaging with BMS on it. Definitely love it. Bailey Curry doing a Bobby Allison throwback to his scheme from 1981, which was dubbed, I think, the Gray Ghost. I've seen so many Gray Ghost schemes in the past, especially on the 88 and so forth. I think the 28 did a Gray Ghost throwback too. So yeah, this looks like the same like the others have, but I'm okay with this one, I guess. Number font looks nice. BJ McLeod ran a throwback to Ken Schrader's 1985 rookie paint scheme. Okay. It's all blue with K Schrader here on the quarter panel. I like it. Number font looks accurate. I kind of find it funny how Schrader ran the 92 back in the day. I definitely like it. I love how it's nice to see bucked up on the hood of a DGM car again. I love it. The red on the front here looks pretty nice too, so I gotta give them that. Anyways, now Josh Williams throwback scheme to Rusty Cruz, who unfortunately passed away while trying to break up a fight in New Smyrna back in February. Very tragic, rest in peace. This paint scheme, it looks like it's just been patched together with different colors, and just looks like this car has had different patches all put together and put onto the car. But I like it though. The number font looks pretty accurate to what's shown here. The blue, the brown, the silver, white patches, and on the front here, it all looks pretty nice. Definitely, this would be a die-cast worthy scheme, not gonna lie. And I love the letter font for Starbright. That looks pretty cool too, so gotta give them credit for that. Now here's a pretty cool throwback. It's Riley Herbst's number 98 Henry repeating arms Ford Mustang, which is a throwback to Tony Stewart's 1999 rookie car. Okay, number font looks almost accurate, or it looks accurate even though it's not the number 20, but it's got the same letter font as it was when he had the Home Depot sponsoring him. I can see he's also got Monster Energy still on the back, looks nice. Overall, this is one of the best Tony Stewart throwbacks I've seen since the Stewart Haas guys in Cup ran throwbacks to him back in 2019. So yeah, those were pretty cool. So yeah. Oh, and I forgot one more scheme. Ryan Ellis drove number 99 Corvette Keen Parts Corvette Parts.net Camaro, which is a throwback to his grandfather. I'm not sure what it is, so I don't have much to say about this, but I love the red and gold though. That's all I can say. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Xfinity. Now, last but not least, trucks. First up, we got Hailie Deegan's number 1 Ford Performance scheme, and it's, I gotta say, a good throwback to Ken Miles. It's a throwback to GT's first endurance race in the 1966 Rolex 24, and who was the winner? It was the aforementioned Ken Miles, who was the big star in Ford versus Ferrari. Good movie. Now I have to admit, this looks pretty cool. The white scheme, the number 1 there in the black circle and the orange, and the black and orange hood. Everything looks accurate to that Ford GT. What I gotta tell you, the throwback to Ken Miles definitely did not disappoint. May could have had more detail, but it's cool nonetheless. It could have had white rims too, but I'm fine with it. I have to admit, Chris Wright's Ron Hornaday Jr. throwback was pretty cool too. It says Kevin Harvick, but it's actually a throwback to Ron Hornaday because he drove the number 6 Good Wrench scheme. Everything about this looks accurate. The black, the silver. It says Good Right instead of Good Wrench. I like how they were almost accurate with that. The number font looks pretty cool. Overall, Chris Wright and Young's Motorsports definitely hit the ball of the park with this Ron Hornaday Jr. throwback. Now, I have to admit, Sheldon Creed's number 2 GMS Racing throwback to the late Jason Leffler is probably the best thing that I've ever seen. Looks pretty nice. Love the accuracy to Jason's truck, the number font and all that. This looks like something that Brad Keselowski could have. Brad Keselowski should have ran this paint scheme too, considering that the number font was the same as his. So, yeah, but I guess Keselowski chose otherwise. Anyhow, the fact that Sheldon Creed won this in the scheme, it was a great tribute to the late driver himself. Not gonna lie. Here's Jordan Anderson's throwback. It's a throwback to Larry McReynolds' first race as a crew chief, and I see where they're going. The side sponsor here looks pretty nice, even though it says Rusty's. The lettering looks pretty cool, and everything else is just pretty, just an all-white scheme. That's it. And great, my mic's acting up again. Anyhow, yeah, all I can say is the side sponsor here, the number, all definitely match up with the 02 scheme. And I believe Andy Lally ran a paint scheme like this last year, the year before, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. Looks pretty nice. Here's Corey Roper's throwback to Bobby Hamilton. I saw the side-by-side comparisons with this and Bobby's truck. The number font, the blue, the silver, and the streaks here, all pretty accurate. Here's John Hunter Nemechek's number 4 Pi Barker fire and safety scheme. A pretty simple black scheme with green, white, and blue streaks and the number font and all that. I don't see how this is a throwback or anything. I don't get it. Here's Spencer Davis. It's a throwback to Darrell Waltrip's number 11 truck. Now this is pretty cool. And what these two have in common, they're both Toyotas. The white flames and the red and all that looks pretty nice. Even though it says Inox, it's almost accurate to how Tundra is here on the side. So I'll definitely give Spencer Davis and the team credit for that one. Here's Tate Fogelman's number 12 Ranco Chevrolet. I'm not sure what it's a throwback to, but it's probably a Dale Earnhardt throwback probably to his Wrangler car, but I like it, not gonna lie. Johnny Sauter, his typical Vivitar scheme. Tanner Gray, same thing. Austin Hill, the number 16 United rental scheme. This is a throwback to the late Mike Stefanik, to a late model car that Stefanik ran. Number font, the blue number, the blue sides, all look pretty nice. Not sure how I feel about this bit here where it's just this blue patch here and then the rest of the car is black. They it could have been better if there was like a line separating it, but I guess I'll take this. Can't argue too much about it. Here's David Gilliland's black tires scheme. This is basically the same thing that Christian Eckes drove last year, so yeah. Even, I have to admit, well, here's the first of two Michael Waltrip throwback schemes. It's Derek Krause's throwback to Michael Waltrip's 2003 Daytona 500 winning car. I have to admit, definitely looks like the Napa scheme that Michael Waltrip ran, with the streaks here for DEI and all that. Looks nice. The number font and all that all definitely match up. To be honest with you, I liked Derek Krause's Ron Hornaday throwback last year. That was pretty cool, but this was just as good as last year's was, so yeah. Here's Spencer Boyd's Credit MRI Silverado throwback to Jack Sprague in his Conway truck. Okay, everything, I can see how everything looks identical. The number font, the design here along the side, everything looks all good. They could have gone with, I don't know, red, blue, or white tires, but overall, pretty nice. This one's Zane Smith's throwback to Glenn Wood. Is basically the same thing that Paul Menard drove 2 years ago, but unlike Paul Menard's schemes, this one is sponsorless, but I like it though. Austin Wayne Self ran a throwback to Tony Raines' truck from the 90s. Love it. Number font, the yellow truck and the black on it looks pretty nice, and it says text on the hood, and I think Tony Raines said Shell Pennzoil on it if I'm not mistaken, so I think I'm correct. And the white rim tires, look, they match up pretty well. Here's Chase Purdy's throwback to Davey Allison. And I have to admit, that Z28 looks really sharp. Love it. The only difference between this one's that Chase Purdy's got Bama buggies on the hood. I love how there's gold on top and red on the rest of the truck, so I have to give that. Even, I find ironic that Davey Allison drove the 23 just like what Chase Purdy's doing right now, so I gotta give them props for that. And I like how the number fonts on the roof match each other, so that's a plus right there. Here's Ryan Reed's number 24, what is it? Tandem Diabetes Care Chevrolet. Love the blue and white, looks nice. Here's Timothy Peters' Rackley Roofing throwback to Bobby Hamilton. Everything matches up to Bobby's iconic scheme. Number font and the colors all together that go all together look accurate. Same with the sponsor on the hood too. I definitely like it there. Now, this is the Ricky Bobby throwback that we've all been looking forward to for a while. It'd been cool if Laguna was wrapped around with this white bit here, but this is okay. At least everything here looked accurate with Laguna, even though that could, well, this is where Wonder Bread would have been, but it's fine. The blue flame, the red and blue flames, the number font and all that. Man, I tell you, this is probably one of the best Tyler Ankrum schemes I've seen out there. Definitely love it. Here's Michael Waltrip throwback scheme number 2. It's Danny Bone. This is a throwback to the scheme that Michael Waltrip ran in the late 80s, I think. And for the fact that he drove the number 30 as well as what Danny Bone's doing now, I definitely like the matchup, especially with the number font, the colors and all that. Everything about this truck looks accurate. I love it. Here's BJ McLeod's throwback to Camping World's 50th anniversary, I assume. Love the letter font, similar to what Suarez has. Number still the same. Everything else, well, it's got the yellow, red, and green stripe zigzag design here along the side. So overall, I like it. Akinori Ogata's throwback paint scheme looks pretty cool. And oh my gosh, I didn't notice that he had Lionel Racing here on the side. Oh my gosh, I didn't notice that. Anyhow, I definitely like this one. It was a throwback to, I forgot who it was, but that driver was the first Japanese driver to race in the truck series. I gotta admit, it's got a little bit of a patriotic scheme on it, especially here along the front. You got the stars as well, and Kiowa Industrial, and everything as well. The red and all that, everything matches up pretty well. I like it. Here's Todd Gilliland's number 38 Black's Tires throwback. I forgot who it was, but it was a throwback to somebody's championship. I forgot, but it looks pretty nice. This is basically a throwback to no one in particular, except it's a throwback to what marquee spas used to look like back in the day, as far as their lettering is concerned. I mean, the number font's surprisingly the same, but it's not a throwback to a specific person. It's just a throwback to, well, just themselves as far as the sponsor is concerned. So yeah, I assume Dawson Cram's also doing a Camping World 55th anniversary throwback to them. I gotta admit, I definitely like it. Number font and all that, the blue and all that, everything looks good. I like how each Camping World truck changed it up and not everything was the same color scheme, color design, and all that. So I gotta give them props for that. And I'll have to give them credit for the white rim tires too. That looks pretty nice. Now, out of all the drivers that Johnny Benson influenced or was cited as a hero or something, one of those drivers was Carson Hocevar, and Hocevar, I have to admit, was the right driver to do a throwback to Johnny Benson to. This is a paint scheme that Benson ran in the early 2000s to the Valvoline car, I think. You got the red, the black, the dark blue, and the blue here on the side, and the black. And for the fact that the number font is changed up too with these different patches in it, I have to admit, it definitely looks pretty accurate to what Johnny Benson ran. I love it. Bailey Curry's 44 scheme was I think it was a Cale Yarborough throwback. Second time he's done it. He did one last year, but it was throwback to the Hardy scheme. I think this is close to the same thing that he ran last year, but it's got the yellow and red along the side, so don't have much to say there. Eric Darnell. Man, it was so cool to see Eric Darnell back in the truck series. I didn't think he would race again at all, but I'm glad he came back when he did. And there's nothing more better than throwing back to when you ran back in 2009, the paint scheme that you ran. And you won he won this paint scheme too at Michigan in that photo finish. Everything looks accurate. The black, the silver design, the yellow, even the number font matches to what Eric Darnell had 12 years ago. So, gotta give a plus to this. I definitely like it. Corey High made his truck debut. It's basically same thing that the 51's always had. Stuart Friesen throwing it back to Tim Richmond. Looks nice. Number font and all that looks good. And it's just got a simple red scheme. Overall, I love it. Who's this? Oh, Timmy Hill, okay. He's throwing back to the late Kenny Irwin's Ray Bestis truck. Okay. I definitely like this one. Kinda looks like Tyler Reddick's throwback from last year with all the color accuracies. The reason why I say accuracies a lot in this video is because lots of these paint schemes have been on point. That's why. Anyhow, this paint scheme would have been better if it had blue rims, but everything else, but whatever. But anyhow, the rest of this paint scheme looks nice. Got the blue here on the top, the red along the bottom. You got the red, yellow, and white here along the side with the blue number. Man, I tell you, it's on point. The only difference is that the spoiler is not red, but that's okay. Parker Kligerman's Tides car looks pretty nice. Better than that dull black scheme he runs. But no hate towards Kligerman though. And last but not least, Grant Enfinger and Ben Rhodes in their typical paint schemes. So with that, that's going to do it for this video. Thank y'all for watching. This has been Chase Fan number 9, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Alright, bye bye.